Delighted to be joined by Conan Gel, head coach of the Causeway Giants here in the Mid-Ulster Sports Arena. Conan, thanks first of all for inviting us down.
Really no problem, thanks for coming and making the time.
Really nice facility here, I must say. Really good. The 4G pitch as well here, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. How has the camp gone so far?
Yeah, it's good. It's the fourth one that we've done. So some of the guys are veterans and experienced in it, but obviously we've had to do a lot of recruiting this year. So for I'd say like 30-40% of it's brand new guys, so they kind of experienced it. We got here last night. Liam stepped up with the food game. We had like a pizza oven, so it was good. We had an opportunity to run through some film and chat about stuff. And yeah, we're obviously out here today just kind of working through special teams program in the morning, just working through standard positional stuff. So yeah, it's been good. Like it's an opportunity. We don't get an opportunity. You get 2 hours every Sunday to do some training, so this is almost gets you 4 or 5 practices in one.
Yeah. Some very supportive partners to allow this for a weekend now. It's let the guys away.
Unfortunately, probably not as many supportive as I'd have liked, but yeah, look, obviously it's something that's in the diary. It is a challenge. We appreciate that guys have some work, shift work and night shifts and all that kind of stuff, so we try and as best as we can, and yeah, we're very thankful the partners let us do it. Hopefully have a little bit of a rest during the week.
Yeah, excellent. Well, absolutely. And look, you mentioned there a number of rookies coming in this year, which is absolutely fantastic because I guess the story of last year was the injuries and sort of derailing what was a positive start to the season. How have you found, or how has the rookies settled in so far? Have they been able to integrate into the squad? Well, and look, it's tough, especially coming into a sport. Maybe like some people have other sport backgrounds, some guys don't. But this is a whole other beast when it comes to American football. So how is it for them getting to, first of all, to say study playbooks, or even just getting used to wearing pads and helmets even?
Yeah, that's the challenge, right? When you get new guys coming in, as you say, some come in from GAA backgrounds or rugby backgrounds or contact sports. That's a little bit easier. You get guys that maybe have watched a bit of NFL on Sunday and think, oh, that looks like fun, and then get here and they're like, oh, it's maybe not what I thought. So you have to kind of balance. But the original point, have the guys fitted in. I think it's been great. I think since I've been here, I've been trying to we're trying to get the age profile down of the club. I think obviously we were a new club and kind of set up off the back of guys coming from the Jets. So I think we had guys that were in the back end of their career, so we were typically older. We're now, the guys that we're recruiting are 19, 20, 21, that kind of age, which is great because whatever they do this year isn't really what it's about. If they're with us for 5 years, 10 years, that's what I want, and that's what we're trying to build. Yeah, as you rightly say, last year kind of went off the rails after having such a good season the year before, but that's going to happen. It could be an opportunity for guys to say, what, sod this, let's go and find something else to do. But we didn't. We finished out the season. We stuck together. The guys that have come back have come back. We've got really good guys. They've changed the dynamic in the WhatsApp group. I'm learning about all sorts of social media trends that I have no clue or any business knowing about, but it's good. They fit in, but it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, and with your experience over in Great Britain and coaching there, how important is it now to get the Causeway Giants youth team now off the ground and start going forward with that now going?
Yeah, look, I came here as a youth coach. That was my battle, university and youth, and that was what I wanted to do. So 5 years later, I still haven't really achieved that, but we've got it started. Obviously the Cougars brand, which I guess I've brought across, we've got 15-16 guys registered already for the year, which is fantastic. There's an opportunity when we get to March, April, hopefully with rugby season finishing, there's a few more guys that we can add into that. But absolutely, I think if we can do 5 to 8 players every year of our recruitment from the youth team coming up, that saves you such a massive headache for going out and doing all the canvassing and all the other recruitment events that I'm sure every team watching this is familiar with.
Absolutely. And the importance then of the recruitment, and say the importance of weekends like this. Yeah. Outside of guys, just even learning playbooks, going through reps as we've seen here, how important is it for guys to get to know each other a little better, get the chemistry going a little better, and how do you feel important do you feel is that going to transfer in to game one now on March the 8th?
That's exactly right. I mean, look, the for me, a big part of the camp is about guys being away for 2 days together. As I said in part of the chat that we had last night, there's probably guys that I wouldn't have met, if we weren't playing for an American football team. Just as you have different lifestyles or jobs or whatever it is, so it's having 30, 40 guys that have those different experiences that get to spend a couple of days, and maybe they find lifelong friends as guys that have come onto the team that, again, same thing, wouldn't have known each other. Now 3-4 years down the line are best friends and all that kind of stuff. So whether it's going to happen by game one, I don't know, but I think, look, we're obviously, from the season that we had last year, I think it's about getting a bit of a solid platform, getting in situations where, adversity, where we're going to be scores down, but we can bounce back from that and, maybe get a win or keep the games tight, where actually in the past, we've maybe let the game slip. So that's the kind of aims for us for this year. And to keep building on this. So it's, I think it was a great opportunity to reset what we were thinking about last year. As the theme of the camp, it's all about building brick by brick, as we've got in our shirts, I'm sure you'll see through the year.
Yeah. And, as a head coach, how do you find the balance? So coming into this year, you had 2 years ago the great year, getting to the play, winning the play final last year. Obviously, it didn't go the way you probably would have expected it. Coming into this season now, like I said, you've got a good influx of rookies, and you've got a lot of returning players, which is great. But when it comes to, trying to navigate wins and losses versus sort of progression in week, how would you sort of get that balance to sort of keep everyone happy, but guys like winning, but also you need to see progression on the other side too? Yeah,
I mean, that's a challenge, right? And I think not just with us, I've seen it, obviously in the league with other teams. When the losses start piling up, numbers do start dwindling, and forfeits and all that kind of stuff. And that was something we were very conscious of. We could have maybe forfeited against the Mavericks last year, but that was nothing we ever considered. Whether we go with 15, 16, those are the guys. And actually, we know that those 15, 16 guys, whatever happens this year, they will stick with us, because that was the mindset and the mentality we have. So if we can bring that and instill that within our rookies, then actually I think it is a numbers game. I don't think in Division 1, I think it's really competitive. So I think if people have 25, 30 guys every week that are committed, that are learning playbooks, that are training together, I think just by natural levels of ability, I think you'll have enough players that you can keep yourself competitive. Can you guarantee wins? I don't know, and I mean, time will tell whether that happens. Of course, we want to win. We're not standing here saying that we're shooting for Division 1 title this year, but that is in the plan, and it was in the plan 2 years ago. We hit a big roadblock last year with that plan, but it gave us an opportunity to maybe find out, are some guys in it for the long haul, or are they not? And that's fine. That's not a knock on them. That's just that you get guys that have got other priorities elsewhere. But we have to, the key to this is picking up guys that long term want to do this. And again, a lot of the work that the committee are doing off the field with our crowdfunder, we've got some things that hopefully we'll be announcing very soon that are going to be game changers for the club. And hopefully that gives a signal of where the Causeway Giants are going.
Excellent. Great to hear. And look, all roads now lead to March the 8th, home to the Panthers.
Yeah.
They are the team coming down from the Premier Division.
Yeah.
It is that sort of... I was talking to Ross there, and we talked about the fact that we're in this time now, just before the season starts, where probably, expectation and hope is at its highest, but also the mystery is at its highest. We don't really know a lot about what other teams are going, rather than, spying on social medias and seeing who's there and who's not, But, I guess for yourself, how are you looking to approach that game on March the 8th, coming up against the team, like you mentioned, the team coming down, probably will be strong, looking to go straight back up, and obviously wanting to start your season on a high too.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously we're going in with the mindset that it's a game to win. It's first we want to set a marker. We're at home. We have a good record by and large at home over the years. But the Panthers, we have to respect them. They've played in the Premiership. They're an established team that have been around for a number of years. As I said, we don't know. There's been changes, so we don't know what they're going to look like I think hopefully we get an opportunity to see them in action a week before, which will be good, and also they'll have the experience that they'll have their first game out of the way, whereas we're kind of battling with that when we play them. So. Look, I think we just go out with the intention of we play our football. Look, we're coming from a season where I think we tied one game. That was all we had. So we're not looking about getting wins straight off the bat. As I said, we want to go out and lay that marker, and if that ends up being a win, that's fantastic. But it's about playing our football, respecting the opponents that we come up against, and whatever they throw at us, I'm sure it'll be a good level of football. We'll tackle that head on.
Delighted to be joined by Jig McCoy.
How you doing?
How are you, buddy?
Good, mate. I'm good. Cold and wet, but we're loving it.
Well, it's a little dry right now, so we're okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, we're okay. We're okay. Gorgeous facilities here, though, isn't it? Just to have your camp. Lovely pitch here, and loads of more pitches and changing rooms and everything. Just
we've first couple of years we've been trial and error, right? The teams, this is our fourth camp, so the first couple was like, this is good, but that bit wasn't. Last year we were where we are this year in Cookstown, but the field was terrible. So then that was the focus this year, was like find somewhere that's 4G, and this is a really nice 4G. So I'm quite delighted with it. The guys are getting good reps in, so we've got a good couple of days here.
Yeah. And how is pre-season preparations going?
Good. We started some new challenges in the team, so we've got groups for lifting, got a bigger, faster, stronger group, so making sure the guys are getting conditioned and stuff. Try to explain that's what helps with injuries, helps you fourth quarter, helps you finish drives. So hopefully we should see most of the guys last to tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. That was sort of almost the sort of story of the season last year, wasn't it? Injury sort of derailing what was a really positive start to the season, with some close games, notably against the Crusaders and the Minotaurs. But then injuries, when they start to inevitably take their toll, it kind of kills momentum. And
that's it. I mean, I think the first 4 games we lost, we had totally about 11 points or something like that, which, the year before we got a couple of them in our favour. That's football, and that happens. Then the wheels start to come off, guys start to get injured, as you say, and when you've not got everyone lifting and getting to the right level, the drop off of the guys that are to the guys that aren't is big. So when one of those lifters goes out, it's a big drop, and then the team starts to suffer, and then you know what it's like. You've been around the sport. So key this year was making sure attendance is high. We recruited really aggressively. We've made a lot of changes. So we've got 15 or 16 rookies, and we've brought the average age of the team down to about 26. I used to be about 35. I was one of the young guys in the team, which was depressing.
Oh, I know well. It's kind of when you have an average line of a D line that is over 40, so you're going to have to get some young blood in for sure. And I guess like the positive steps that have been made, that with Lion Park having your own pitch, obviously what we've seen in the last few weeks with trying to improve the change of facilities and everything they're going to do there. Obviously with now the implementation of the youth team now as well is going to be huge for this team going forward.
That's it, man. I mean, Conan, his background is youth football. When I was over in Glasgow, I was head coach of the youth team at the Pirates for a season or two, and you'll be the same. I get into this sport when I was 14 years old. I've done it. This is my 25th season, and I could only get to play the sport I love for this long because other folk gave their time and taught me and gave me the time today to do it. So I feel like you can have a debt to the sport. You should give that back. So it's really important to us to bring that in. But also selfishly, if in a couple of years' time I can have 18, 19-year-olds with 4 years' experience. That's how you start climbing the ranks. It's not drafting guys in for other sports. You're stealing guys for stuff at the minute, but when you bring a guy in that's 24 and he's coming off the couch, it's hard. It takes 3 or 4 seasons just to learn the movement of the game. It's a totally different sport. So if you can bring them in and grow them up for that, plus it's good fun. Like at that age, it's the biggest thing they've got going on. So they love it. The passion's there, and it's different for senior. So it was really important for us to build that, and as you say, grow the facilities. And we managed to get some funding for Sport NI, and we work with the Community Association up in Armoy as well. So there's a lot of stuff happening at Lime Park this year and next year to really develop the area, which is good.
Excellent. And going into this year now, what's the ambition? What's the goal? Are we looking at black and white wins and losses, or is it sort of progression that you want to see from last year?
No, a bit of both. I mean, I think if you focus on the goal, you kind of miss the path there, don't you? I think it's about focusing on, our motto this year, our camp teachers are all about brick by brick. It's like, as you say, we had the year we won the plate, everybody was delighted. Last year was rubbish. So this year can't be any worse. So this year's all about developing the young guys, getting good reps, getting in these wins. We're looking at the schedule and we're thinking it's going to be a good season. You know, there's a lot of teams in a lot of similar situations to us. There's a lot of movement in the league every year as well. You know, like we spoke about earlier, a couple of guys move teams and suddenly it's an entirely different league in it. So it'll be interesting to see how the season goes. But you need to start early. You need to start fast. You know, like I say, if you come out the gate and you lose the first 3 or 4 games, really long season. So getting those early wins in and focusing on reps and developing guys and loads of film stuff. We've got the VO and stuff like that. So we're trying to build all the stuff that we can.
And last one before I let you go. March the 8th is the opening game, home to the Panthers.
That's right.
You know, Panthers coming down from last year, obviously well established what sort of issues that they went through last year. What is the sort of goal then for the guys? Like you mentioned, a lot of rookies going to be playing their first proper game. That's so, you know, it's kind of, it's all well and good to do in training, and you know, we know ourselves, it's a whole different beast when you get into playing it. So, you know, what is it? Is a sort of a play-by-play sort of situation then for those guys to say, look, listen, it's kind of like a deer in headlights situation. You're going to get hit, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah,
but
that's it.
Let's just try and see what we can do.
The key I've always found it's game management, right? That's what Conan and the guys will focus on the sideline. But the key is getting these guys in early, getting the first hit out of the way. You know what it's like, man. That's why you want to go and kick off or kick return as soon as the ball's in. Like, I need to hit somebody first.
Never wanted that. Kick off or kick return. Never wanted to do that.
Just me then. That says a lot about me then. I want that first hit out of the way, so that I'm like, right,
you are the running back here.
That's true. I just like getting the first bit of contact in and going, right, it's football. You know, I'm switched on, I'm in game mode. Like, you can't prep for that and hitting somebody else until you hit somebody else. So I'm just getting early, you know, baptism of fire. I throw them in at the deep end and then sink or swim in it. So we'll see. We'll know a lot by the end of the first game. We'll see where we're at.
Perfect. Well, look, listen, Jake, best of luck with the season.
Thanks very much,
and enjoy the rest of the set weekend. And thanks for
very much, mate. Thanks, mate. Thanks for that.